Everybody. I know everyone's popping over from their master calls, but let's get this show on the road. We've got an amazing guest here, a good buddy of mine, someone that's been in this company a long while. Been one of the first agents that Miranda really brought on, Michael, and just the fun that we've had out here with you coming out to Phoenix. Myself, Grant, you, Ryan, you are a very, very knowledgeable individual about this business. You've done all sides of it, the virtual, the coaching, the agent development, the underwriting. But really, you've been able to build something for us, brother, that so many people across the company are utilizing, that are relying on. And you hit us up and let us know, like, hey, I don't even think people are utilizing a quarter of the available information that's in there. And just wanted to talk to people about the tips and tricks. So, man, I'll pass it over to you, buddy. Agency director or owner right now?
Director.
Agency director, Michael Mascola.
Hey, um, well, thank you for that introduction. I'm still looking for the guy that you're talking about, but yeah. Um, First, I want to express my gratitude to you and Sarah and the Roethlisbergers. It's very cool to have an audience of this size and of this magnitude, but it's also really touching to be thought of for a call for the agencies that are involved with this group. You guys are some of the fastest growing agencies in all of Symmetry. So as soon as I heard about this call from Sarah, and then it turned into a joint call with Andrew and with Andrew and the Roethlisbergers, I was super stoked. I was just, yes, like this is going to be awesome because I love Andrew, getting to know Sarah, and I just wanted to express that. Thank you. You know, so I'm going to go through what we go through. How many of you use the get a raise of hands here, show of hands. How many of you don't know what the cheat sheet is? I have no clue why you're here. All right, well, we're going to cover both today. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps we're going to do. If you have a pen and paper out, you might want to take notes. I will tell you that I talk slow, but I move fast. So we'll get this done in about 20 minutes. We'll have plenty of time for Q&A and for comments and whatnot. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about the story about how the cheat sheet came about in the first place. I think it's pretty cool to understand the origins of it and why it was so necessary. Secondly, we will do an overview of the 5 sections. Just going to kind of go through it so you get a little orientation. Third, we'll talk briefly about how to properly use it to make sure that downlines and uplines are using this correctly, because it's only the tool is only as good as the people using it, right? So we want to make sure that we're using it correctly. 4, I've got some new features that are really exciting, which I know very few even know are on there. And I know that because when I tell people about one of them, nobody knows. And the second one I just did over the weekend because I just felt like we needed it on there. So I'm really excited about that because those are going to blow your mind. Just get your hat on, get your helmet on, try and keep all the brains inside. Last, we'll do a summary of the cheat sheet, and then we'll just do question and answers and comments. Okay. So whether you want me to do this or not, we're doing it anyway. So let me share my screen. Give me a second here. I got a new laptop. I freaking love this thing. But it's just like any new technology, you got to learn to use it.
I just hope it's a Mac, buddy.
No, I went with a Lenovo ThinkPad X1 because the Macs don't have touchscreens, and I love touchscreens. And this thing is the best business computer on the market. And Best Buy wanted $2,000 for it, but I talked to Lenovo directly and got it for $1,600. I walked into the Best Buy store like, what? They're telling it for $1,600 on the website. So I waited an extra week and did that. So enough about my laptop. Let me see if I can get my screen shared here. Hang on a second.
Yep.
All right. Can everybody see the cheat sheet?
Yep.
Okay. So 5 sections of the cheat sheet. The first section is in yellow. This first page is called the matrix. First section is in yellow. This is just all the carrier stuff. You got your phone numbers, you got your agent guides, and if you move this up and down, the agent guides are locked for a purpose. They're there for you to use and to have easy access to. Second section is the orange section. The orange section is all the miscellaneous carrier information. Which payments does a carrier accept? Right? It's good to know which ones accept credit cards and which ones accept bank and rounding numbers, right? So phone interviews, paramed stuff. Can you split with an agent? Which carriers do telesales when you have someone who's technologically challenged? That's there. The third section is my favorite section of the entire sheet, the background questions. My experience, the reason I did this was the most frustrating thing when we used to do 911s and used to handle a lot of volume of agents is if somebody had a background question, whether they were in the military, occupation, a DUI, the problem with agent guides is that there's not a standard format for them. So you don't know where to find the information, right? It's like a wild goose chase. So you're trying to find this stuff. You just can't. So I decided why don't we take all the background stuff and organize it into one section? And so I did. Alcohol and drug treatment, citizenship, DUIs, marijuana use, which carriers do what for tobacco, because everyone's got different ideas what counts and what doesn't count as tobacco. So I love that section as this for me personally. It's my favorite section if you want to know, in case you were wondering. And if you weren't, well, too bad. Last section was this fourth section is the section that took the most amount of time. And this is the medical conditions. What I did is I looked at all the applications, got all the questions from the applications, and created a list of the top 100 conditions that are asked on all the applications. And then I took a year to fill it out and put in all the information for each carrier. And so that way it's a quick, easy reference chart. It's like a multiplication chart, Sarah, if you remember being a school teacher. That's what it is. That's the whole idea behind it. It's the ability to learn by rote, by just doing it. I will tell you that I just got the agent guide for LGA, Quility Term Plus. So I've started adding that to it. I haven't finished it because today's Martin Luther King Day and I can't call the carriers, but I will tell you that all the declinable conditions that are listed in the agent guide are already on the sheet. So at least it gives you that, okay? And then the last thing are the tabs. Down below, we have the matrix here. If you guys are looking across the bottom, the next tab is living benefits. I found that there was a lot of confusion about living benefits, which carrier had which. You'd always, if you're in the home or on the 911 string or whatever, there was always a lot of conflicting information. And I was like, after I built this out, I'm like, why don't I add that? Let's have a be all end all source for everything. So everyone's on the same page. And this was just for the Martin Master at first, but then now everyone's on the same page company-wide, which is good, right? Everybody knows the same stuff. And it's like helping agents becomes the same voice every time. It's the same answer every time. And that's what was missing before that. Now the tabs are broken into two sections. The first is carrier stuff. The second is more building kind of oriented contracting stuff. So if you look, all the build charts are here. They have white titles, just so they differentiate from the other section. I really have to apologize about what I'm about to show you, Andrew, because I went through Banner Life's agent guide, and this is the build chart listed in their agent guide.
Brutal.
That's why there's an apology across the top. Because I was like, no, this is actually what they gave us. So I've already reached out to LGA to see if I can get a different version of this, but this is completely an abomination and it's unreadable. So sorry about that, guys. I can only control what I can control. But we go down the carrier list and you got MOO, you got NLG, Quility, Trans Am, and they're all color coded for the carrier colors. You got to keep up with branding these days, right? Okay. The last section of the tabs is the contracting stuff. This is when you start building as you start producing. Which states do you need a license for an override? It's nice to know that before you start recruiting, right? Don't buy a license when you recruit somebody. Buy a license when they write, right? And when they write, the carrier gives you a 30-day look back in order to get any overrides. So wait till I used to buy licenses when I was recruiting people and I had all these licenses and then they quit. And then I had all these licenses I spent a whole lot of money on and had nothing to show for it. So I learned my lesson the hard way. We have, thank you to Michelle Miller. We have a list of all the contacts from all the carriers. All the carrier reps are located on this one sheet, their contact information, their phone information, their websites. And just because it's duplicate, we get this from Marlin. Once again, the carrier numbers are listed below, fax numbers, websites. The websites are actually on the cheat sheet. If you go down below in the yellow section, I've put those in there. So that is the outline of the matrix. Now, how do you properly use this, right? What's the best way to utilize the cheat sheet? First and foremost, you got to have it. Okay. I have it. It's for free. And there's no excuse for you not to have it. It's located on the SFG Quotes app. There's a link there. It's a share. This is all this document is one big shareable link. Okay. So you should have it. If you don't have it, save it on your desktop. You're also able to save this on your cell phone under Google Sheets. So you have access to it no matter where you are. It's quick and easy. It works on there. That's one of the great advantages of having this is that you're mobile, you're fluid. So how do we use this thing? God, it's wow, look at all this information. Well, the first thing you do is you check your condition under the matrix. And if I would, and I'll start with a complicated case and really just go from there, because once you can do a complicated case, you can do a simple case. Okay. So I don't have to explain a bunch of examples. I just tell you. What you do is you take the most complicated condition and look that up first. Maybe it's heart, maybe it's kidney, maybe it's COPD, whatever that is. Find the carriers that approve that. That's how you use it. Once you find the carriers that approve the major conditions, then you work your way into the minor conditions, because now it's just a matter of sorting out which carrier is going to work best. Second step to doing this is going up here to the agent guides. All you got to do for these links is hover over them, click on the Dropbox link, and I've got this all in a folder, so it's all just unique to one folder. So now here's Plan Rights Agent Guide, right? That's what those are for. Check the agent guides, double check the medications, make sure you're doing the work, make sure you're really prepared, because you're going to get surprised in the home either way, but do your best ahead of time and make sure you're prepared. The third thing you do is call the carrier. If you got a really complicated case and you're having trouble, that's what the risk assessment is for. Call the carrier and talk to them. They're going to give you the yays and nays right up front. They're going to be like, nope, yep, whatever, and call them. Okay, they're going to help you. That's what they're there for. They want us to write business for them. So they're like, please call us. The only carrier I think that you really can't call is, well, there's a couple, but the main one is Americo. They just don't do it. So with Americo, you just have to answer yes or no to the questions. The application's on here, so you should be able to pull that up. The last thing you do is call your upline. Okay, this goes for builders. This goes for downlines. New agents. The last thing you do is call your upline. You should have exhausted all these steps before you call your upline. You need to do your work. That's it. Okay. So new features. I told you I was going to move along, Andrew. I speak slow and I move fast.
Your pacing's incredible. I love it.
Yeah. Well, it's just one of those things where we're all busy, right? We don't have a lot of time for chit chat. So a lot of times people come on a call and they spend 20 minutes telling you about their story. Stories are great, but my story is I started here and I'm still here. Next. So new features. Can I get a fucking drum roll, please? Oops, excuse me. How many of you have had trouble with a client when you're doing an e-app? They can't figure it out on their own. Has that ever happened to anyone besides me? Yeah, Janice, yep. Have you ever lost a sale because they couldn't figure out the e-app? How frustrating is that? Right? That's the worst. You call the lead, you book the appointment, they show up, you go through the process, they're interested, you get to the e-app, you're about to write the business, and you hit a brick wall. Right? What if we could fix that? That's what I thought. Because you know what? The reason I put this section in here is because it happened to me and I got so mad. What I decided to do was to apply for each individual product and screenshot the steps on the other side of the computer. So when you go to AMAM, hover over the link, there's going to come a Google Slides doc. On that Google Slide doc is going to be a screenshot, step-by-step instructions of how to do an e-app from your side of the computer for every carrier, for every product. The only carrier that does not have screenshots is SBLI. That's a Loom video that they send out. So I have that there. So here you go. Click here to view and sign app. Okay, Jane, Mary, please click here to view and sign app. The next screen is going to have you put in the last 4 digits of your social security number. Go ahead and do that and click log in. Now, you're going to come to a screen that says, read through the app before signing. So please double check your information, make sure everything's right. Scroll to the bottom when you're done. At the bottom, type your full name in the box provided below and then click the submit button. Okay, got that? You should be looking at a screen, Mary, that says, thanks, we've recorded your signature and we will process the application, blah, blah, blah. There you have it. Okay, that's my first new feature. Andrew doesn't seem very excited about it, but I am. That's all that matters. So that's the first new section that's in there. How many of you knew that was on there?
Wait a minute, you got to show me where that is again. You lost me as to where that is.
Okay, go under the yellow section at the top. You on your cheat sheet? See where it says e-apps? Hover over it, click the doc. Boom. You're in there like swimwear.
Got it. Thank you.
No, you're welcome. And questions are good. So that's the first section that we added. The second section we added has to do with contracting and licensing. This is just the one I just did over the weekend. How many of you are doing digital leads? Raise your hands. How many of you realize you need more than one state in order to get a license, in order to be licensed in? Keep them up, right? You can't be a one-trick pony with digital leads. You gotta be able to have multiple states in order to get a good lead flow. How many of you know how much it costs to get a license outside your state? Uplines might know a few because of the states they use, but right, by and large, how many of you actually know all of the state licensing fees? None of us do. Wouldn't that be a helpful thing for us to understand? When we're telling an agent when they get started, you need licenses in these 5 states. Here's the chart that tells you how much they cost. So thank you to Joe Carson and Amy Falvey. I used multiple sources to verify this. And when I was in doubt, I erred on the side of the most expensive option. What we've got are now state licensing fees, resident and non-resident. So when you tell your team or when you're looking to add a license yourself, you can go to this chart and you can check every state, resident and non-resident, to see exactly how much it's going to cost. Okay, that way when you bring someone on as a builder, you can tell them you're going to need these 5 licenses. It's going to cost blankety blank. And you want to start putting your money that you make in your business to reinvest. This is where you reinvest when you're doing digital. This is where you end up reinvesting as a builder when you start having states you need license for. This is where you reinvest in your business. So now it's all in a handy dandy chart. Okay, so now and if you look at Illinois, I have a non-resident license in Illinois, and I'm proud to say that I learned this from Grant, Andrew. Illinois is a great state for non-resident licenses for digital leads. It's amazing. I'd have like 10 states on my GMR and I'd get Illinois nine times out of 10. You're going to get a huge flow, but you're going to bite the bullet because the non-resident fee is $380, which is right because I paid it, but it was worth it because I was getting a ton of business from it. Like it was just a flood of stuff coming at me. I was just like, they just all start ding, 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 ding. You know, and your phone starts going off when you start getting people on switchboard. Like it was just like nonstop. I was like, whoa, I had to cut down my order at first just because I was like, this is coming too fast. So we added that. Good stuff. So the summary really is that this is, I was during from 2018 to 2022, some of you don't know, this is one thing about my story, I'll tell you. I dealt with some health issues and I was part-time in the business. 18, I worked. I did work the business full time, but I'd get to the weekend, I'd be exhausted. I wasn't sleeping well. I wasn't feeling well. And eventually at the end of 2018, my body shut down. And I couldn't produce. I couldn't talk to my agents, Dave Kushner and Kelly Kushner. We got moved under them because I needed more support. Okay. I was director Miranda when I first started, because I couldn't do it. And between them and Jamie, Irvin, and Miranda, that's the only reason I'm still here. It's the only reason I got here. It's the only reason I still have an agency is because of them. If you don't know how much support you could get until you need it. And I will tell you, if you're not getting the support, look in the mirror, because if you're all in this business, leaders are going to rally around you. They will reach down and pull you up. Just got off the call with Ryan Miller just before I hopped on here, and we just had a great talk. And it was like, he's one of those people that reached down and helped me from day one. And that's why I'm here. Like, I couldn't afford my own leads when I started. I was broke. I'd lost my job and I was struggling to do production. And he just said, I'm going to help you. And boom, I took off. And that was all I needed. I just needed a hand. And a lot of us, we just need a hand, a helping hand. So anyway, so I did this while I was sick because I could lie down on my couch and I could work on the computer. And so that's what I was limited to. And that's how this came about, was me being able to just do what I could do with what I had at the time. And it turns out it was a pretty good idea. But like I said, this is the most effective and efficient way to underwrite. It's company-wide now. I have a meeting with Brian Williamson next week. We are going to add this to Summit. So this is going to be onboarded with new agents. So all your new agents are going to come out of the box swinging with this thing. Okay. So you're not going to have to say, go get the cheat sheet. It's going to be part of Summit. I might have to go do one of those goofy videos at corporate. Andrew, I'll call you when the time comes if that's the case, because Andrew's done a ton of them. I'm like, what do I do? What do I say? Make sure I don't swear, all that kind of stuff. We'll go over it.
The not swearing is the hard part. I'm telling you, that's the tough one. They even give you.
I know I dropped an F-bomb on your call. Like, Jesus. Like, it's like I have my filter on too. It just slipped right out. But it's the most effective and efficient way to underwrite. It's the most convenient way to underwrite. And that's all I got. I told you I'd get to the point. So what I want to do is open this up to questions and answers, comments, and everything else. What you got?
That was a lot of information in 25 minutes. Thank you.
Hey, Michael, thank you for all of this. One of my struggles is not necessarily with the application that gets sent or the text or email that gets sent to the client, but getting them to turn off pop-ups. I mean, I've looked on Google and they still can't figure it out. So I don't know, that may just be a trouble with.
No, what you do with pop-ups is you ignore them. Like, what happens is when I see there's I think it's on the let me pull up the cheat sheet. There's actually an example of that on the cheat sheet. I'll show you where it is.
Under Moo.
Rod, you get the gold star for the day. That is exactly where it is. Very good. Very good. Go under Moo texting, part 1. Right, we got the texting in there too. I forgot to mention that. We got the texting and the regular. If you go under texting, you're going to see in the message, can you guys all see this? Your browser pop-up is currently blocking this site. Do you guys see that? Just hit close. And then you go right to the next screen and then to the 2 screens after it. Okay, just ignore it. That's all you got to do. It's everyone, you're going to get pop-up notices. It doesn't mean you have to pay attention to them. Rod, you are a true student of the cheat sheet, because nobody in this call, and probably very few people on one hand, you must write a lot of Moo.
Just had one this weekend. I couldn't get it figured out, so I went in there and saw it.
Yep, there you go. Yeah. So there's one thing I do want to add, which I think is important to talk about, because the cheat sheet's free and it's there for everybody to use. Do you see the message that's across the top? Due to heavy collaborative use, some tools for the spreadsheet may become unavailable for larger audiences. Do you guys all see that? Okay. The problem with Google is that there's a limit to how many people can actually share a link, because all this is a shareable link. It's a document with a shareable link if you really want to boil it down, right? And so right now we are at the limit already of how many people can use it. And we're going to put it on Summit, and the SFG is going to grow. And so the problem's only going to get worse, not better. So there is going to come a point where I'm going to have to do this as a subscription-based model, because this format's not going to work at some point. Right now, we don't have to do it. It's probably not going to be for at least another year or so. So you have nothing to worry about. But I will let you know the price is going to be $7.99 a month. I'm going to keep it affordable. I want every agent to use it. It's about impact, not income. I didn't design this to make money off it. I designed this to help agents and help agency owners, so they didn't have to answer all these damn 911s that we had. We had about 20 to 30 911s a day from agents in the home needing help, and it would take up half your day. Now in the Mark Master, we average about 3 per day. Now it's the only most serious cases, or like usually brand new agents who are having help. So we've really cut down on this is the one thing I underestimated, was how fast people will learn how to underwrite and how quickly they would become master underwriters. And that's the coolest thing that I think about this, is that that's the kind of impact that it's made, is that people are learning to underwrite quickly and they're becoming masters at it even faster. And I underestimated how fast it was going to happen. And I thought it was a good idea. That's why I did it. But yeah, so eventually it's going to be a subscription based. It's going to have to be. I don't have a choice. It's just we're going to have too many users. But like I said, it's not about income. It's about impact. We're going to keep it affordable. I know there's another cheat sheet out there that's like $15 a month. That's ridiculous. So $7.99 at some point, really affordable. It's going to be enough to cover developing costs. And I have an admin to do customer service, so I've got some expenses built in. So and Mike Casey's helping me out with a developer. So yeah, that's what I got, Andrew.
I have a question, Michael. Thank you so much.
Sarah, we've run out of question and answer time, so you're going to have to wait till next week.
Dang it. Maybe next time.
Look how good Sarah looks. Good Lord. Drop 40 pounds, just looking gorgeous, fit as a fiddle.
She only spends $40 on her hair. It's incredible. It's just sensational.
And
She's in bikini season in January. Like she's ready. Like, where's Cancun? It's just where you need to be going. What you got, Sarah?
So if someone has hey, I found that someone that's on a diuretic can be covered. Like if they find a dispute or discrepancy, what's the best thing to do? Or, how do you handle that?
Okay.
I'm sure you have 900 emails.
Well, I'll answer it in 2 parts. One is I'll answer the diuretic question, and 2, I'll answer the general question. Diuretics go down to high blood pressure, guys. That's something that comes up. It does. And I've run into it enough that I added it to the cheat sheet. Go under high blood pressure and you'll see what it says. Look at AMAM. Mild diuretic, call carrier, diuretic decline. And so across the board, we handle diuretics for every carrier, because that is why people get knocked out of term, right? They are on high blood pressure meds, but they're on a diuretic. And they go, what happened? Well, the first thing you do is you check the cheat sheet, okay? Check to see if the diuretic is okay, and check the agent guide to make sure it's an acceptable diuretic. We're just going to go through the steps we did before. Then you call the carrier if that doesn't work, and you call the carrier and verify, okay? So no different than what we talked about before, Sarah. It's the same thing. Check the cheat sheet, check the agent guide, check the carrier. At that point, you should know.
Got it.
Love it. Man, Michael, just appreciate all the time and energy that you put into this. And, hey, when that time comes that you got to move it to a subscription model, I mean, it's the same thing as everything Adobe charges now. Microsoft Word and Excel charge now. It's like, and they're about the same, $7, nothing crazy,
Yeah, and that's what my Microsoft subscription. I think it's like $8.99.
Yeah,
it's like the whole idea, guys, is just like I said. I want you guys to get good at underwriting. I want you to feel confident in the home. When they come at you and they got 6 more medications than they told you about, you should be able to pivot on the spot, check the cheat sheet, check the agent guide, check this, boom, boom. And then that's when you reach out to your upline if you can't figure it out. But you should be able to pivot confidently in the home as a professional field underwriter. That's the ultimate goal of this, is that you are you are the be all end all. When they sit with you and you're able to handle that kind of stuff, like they know they're with the right person, and you are the right person. So now act like it. So
Again, Michael, just really appreciate you. Guys, we'll get this recording done, posted, and readily available for everybody. I think Michael V. Hill said he's going to try to throw it on SFG Quotes as well. Just a quick link.
it's the app is already on SFG Quotes.
Yeah, the cheat sheet there. We're talking the recording too. So
Oh,
people
okay, that'd be perfect. Yeah.
everything one spot, easy to view. Guys, now
Who organized the SFG Quotes app? You seem to have an inside info.
this is Michael V. Hill. Yeah,
Michael.
Michael V. Hill is also on this call.
Michael, thank you so much. First of all, you didn't have my permission to add the cheat sheet, but I'm really glad you did. Because and I thank you for finally putting credit to it, putting my name on it. I saw that was changed too. Originally it was for the Martin Master, and when I heard that it went out, Mark Mendo reached out to me and said, your cheat sheet's like gone company wide. At first I was shocked because I was shocked. And then next I was like, that's really cool. Like that's awesome. So thank you for doing that. That SFG Quotes thing has been a lifesaver. Oh my God. Quote everything like in the fingertips, just boom, 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 boom. That thing's amazing. That like my cheat sheet is part of your invention. That's the way I look at it. Like just huge thanks.
I appreciate you, Michael. And the reality was, SFG Quotes was created for our master agency as well. And then it started getting disseminated across, all the hierarchies, which I was happy with. I mean, and full disclosure, since we're being honest, right? Andrew sent me your cheat sheet and said, hey, I think this is something that you could include. Are you familiar with this? And I think I had sent you a message like a year ago, Michael, but, my messages got filtered because we weren't friends.
No, I get a lot. I was getting a lot of messages from a lot of people. So, and now like once the cheat sheet went public, Andrew even messaged me, hey man, I love this cheat sheet. And my first thought was, how the hell do you have it? Because
I also did do some digging. By the way, we're just almost bantering now. I do some digging. Who even owned it? I was like, who has this cheat sheet? This is incredible. I got to thank this person.
Yeah, well, now you know. But I'm Michael. I'm really grateful that you did that because, like I said, it's all about impact, and now we're impacting the whole company, and hopefully with Summit we can impact everyone from the day they start, which would be really cool, right? Like you don't know how to underwrite. I have a degree in biology. I was pre-med college, so I always had a knack for the science stuff. Like I got it. Like it was no problem. I was good at underwriting. I learned very quickly, but I also saw that a lot of people struggle with it. So, you don't have to be pre-med or a doctor to underwrite now. So that's cool. So yeah, a little banter's fun. We got through the meat and potatoes quick and we're just having dessert now.
Mm-hmm. Well, team, here's what we got. We're going to go ahead and close out the call. Michael, we might have you guys both come on another time because I know we got questions on like drug knockout lists, easy way people can like research that stuff. Agent guide's always the go-to. Also, pro tip for anybody who's not, technologically there yet. If you're on a Mac, Command F, and if you're on a PC, Control F. Well, and then you can type in whatever you need to type in, and it will immediately try to find it in a Adobe spreadsheet, web page, whatever you're on. It's a really easy, go-to find. But yeah. Sarah, it's a go-to time to also reach out to clients. We are in our workroom right now. You guys know the deal. It is dial time. It is appointment booking time. It is appointment running time. We're going to get some wheel spins here in a hot minute. But team, people are freezing outside and want nothing to do with anything except a heater and a fireplace. And guess what? Their phone is also right next to them. They're either playing on it, they're either texting on it, or they're watching TV with their phone right next to them, which means you have an opportunity to reach out to them and get them on the phone. Team, let's kick it off. Let's have some fun. Let's book up some appointments and let's go crush the day. Have an awesome day today.
Hey, real quick, Andrew, before we go, how long is your call normally? Because I knew I was going to be done in about 20 minutes, but like I didn't know because I remember Sarah said she only had 15 for the first call we were looking to do. How long is this call normally?
This is just our workroom, actually. So okay. This is where Sarah and I run like a comboed workroom, and everyone comes in here and just dials and makes appointments. And so this is we said, hey, we'll just throw it here and everyone can stay put.